Right. Let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to talk about some motivation. We're going to talk about some meditation. We're going to talk about some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. So, what are some of the challenges that you're facing off against today? How are you utilizing your ability? Are you utilizing your focus, your knowledge, your discipline? And what kind of challenges are we truly facing? Like, what is it that stops you? What is it that holds you back? What is it that if you were to work together with a community, if you could become a part of a community of motivation, meditation, inspiration, you can join our Facebook group. You can join our chat, our ability to work together, motivation, meditation, inspiration yoga. And in there you can find the links to my YouTube page. We got the podcast here for those that are going to work, that are looking to start to put themselves in a place where their vibration, like what way can we utilize what we have? What way can we start to recognize that the challenges that we're facing off against we can overcome? And are we doing that today? Are we putting ourselves in a place where we're focused, where we're utilizing those types of challenges? And it's on a daily basis that we go through challenges. It's on a daily basis that we face off against things. It's when our mentality starts to open up. Okay, it's when your ability inside of yourself starts to become. And each of us faces challenges on a daily basis. We're facing off against the things inside of ourselves. And what types of things are you going through? Like, it's amazing when we start to see the mentality within ourselves, within our beings, within our focuses. And I'm really enjoying building a community of people that are like-minded. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have a chance, or be able to get in there on the Anchor, or Google or Apple podcasts that are actually out there, so you can actually see what's going on. What are some of the things that you are going through today? Like, a lot of us are asking questions instead of seeking them out inside of ourselves. And I'm seeing this daily. I'm seeing the growth inside. It was amazing. My Facebook group just hit its first 1,000 members. And it's amazing when we can start to create communities, and we can utilize the gifts, the skills that we have. And is it inside of you to do so? See, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about where the mentality comes from. What is it that drives you? What is it that you face off against on a daily basis that brings you closer to yourself? How are you able to focus? What is it that you focus on? What is it that you focus into? And, are you seeing the growth inside of yourself? If you're not seeing that, this network is for you. It's here to help you to start to open your mind, to open your ability inside of yourself, to start believing in who you are. And a lot of people seek that out instead of seeking out within themselves, seeking out the positivity that they have inside of who they are. And how do we start to become positive people? How do we start to build a way for positivities to start coming out from within us? How do we start to put ourselves in a place where we're utilizing what we have inside? You see what I'm saying? And so, like, we want to become people who change the world, but first we got to look inside of ourselves. We got to look at what we have and how we utilize our mentalities and how we utilize our focus. And what is it that you're focused into today? What is it that you do on a daily basis that makes you you? What is it that when you're going through challenges, you have the ability to face off against them when you're focused to that level? You know what I'm saying? And so, are we able to get up when challenges are coming? Are we able to be inside of who we are when things are not always perfect? What do you do then? See, what I'm saying is you got to look at yourself and your abilities, and you got to believe in you. You got to believe that you can achieve amazing things, that you can do things that nobody else would be able to. And how do you start to do that? How do you start to face off against things when you feel like you're not able to? Like, and are you taking those step by step? Are you putting yourself in a place where you're able to utilize what you have inside? See, there's a lot of people, they want to look at other people, and they want to look at the challenges that other people are facing off against. And when we face off against our own challenges, it comes from within us, and it's inside of ourselves that we first need to seek out the ability. It's inside of our beings that focus comes from. It's inside of the very essence of your process that you become yourself, that you start to believe in you, and you start to believe it's possible for you to overcome challenges. And I work at this on a daily basis. I hear the challenges that not only just I, but other people face off against. Like, what is it that you want to do? What is it that, if you heard one message today, what would that message be? Would it be a message of the ability to start to put yourself in a place where, what would you just say to somebody if they told you that, I faced off against these kind of challenges, and you don't know how I felt, right? So, see, I could say simply the same thing. I was by myself inside of a van, and, I could have given up at any moment. But you see, when you're grinding, when you're willing to continue, when other people would just give up, when you start putting a mentality in a place, when you start utilizing the energy that you have inside of yourself, you'll start to find you. You'll start to find time to focus, time for you to work through your challenges and your ability to be who you are on the inside. Is it inside of that place that we're seeking? Is it inside of that place that we go? Is it inside of that place that we start to understand ourselves? And I see it, you know. I see the places that we're seeking out, and I understand that challenges are individual. When do we allow our focus to be us? When do we allow the person that we are inside to start to open up and start to utilize the stories and the lessons that we have inside? And sometimes it's going to be cold outside. Sometimes you're going to face off against cold times when you feel like nobody's on your side, when people are rejecting you, when you're moving forward in a way, and when you're moving forward in a form of mentality, they're going to say, hey, don't continue. They're going to say it's not possible. They're going to say, do you truly have what it takes inside of yourself? And it's inside of that place that you have to believe in you. Okay? It's not when everything is working for you. You see, a lot of the times people forget that the universe doesn't yield to the other side of the challenge until you're willing to face off against it on a constant basis, where you start to challenge what other people would say. You start to challenge what others would consider normal. See, when we're focusing, when we're utilizing our gifts, it's when we start to sit down and we start to gain that level of focus where we're willing to pick up the notepad and write down notes, in our orientations, in our jobs. We're willing to take the time to focus to the place where we utilize what we have inside. You see, a lot of people want to know everything. They want to know everything about everything. And that takes away from the joy of learning things. It takes away from the joy of studying, of learning from other people. When we recognize that we can't be the best at everything, and that we can be the best at the things that we choose to focus the most into. So, what is it that you're focusing into? Are you putting your mentality in a place where you could allow the things that aren't meant for you to move out of the way on their own? Are you starting to get to the place where positivity becomes the results? See what I'm saying? Are you attracting your mentality? See, a lot of people don't even think at that level. They don't even ask themselves on that page because they're so focused on what's going on the outside that they forget about who they are. And when do we start to remember ourselves? When do we start to get to that place where we want to be positive in the universe? See, these are the types of questions that I ask on a daily basis. And I really enjoy grinding. I enjoy getting in front of the camera and in front of the videos and just putting it out there that like it does as much for me as it does for you. You're hearing what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how far, how long it takes to go. It's gonna go because I'm grinding on it on a daily basis. Like just like I saw the motivation, meditation, inspiration group going, and it's not only that, and I'm starting to hear the results from the people that are listening to this message. You see what I'm saying? And if you go back through my YouTube videos, you can watch in times when I was facing off against challenges. But what I got to tell you is it's not the challenges that we face off against, it's ourselves. Okay? It's when you're willing to sit down with yourself, you're willing to work through your challenges, you're willing to focus to that place where you utilize what you have inside of you. And that's what separates us from people who are not willing to have that kind of mentality. You see, like it's when we're willing to continue to grind and we're willing to continue to put ourselves in a place where we start to focus to that place where we allow those types of things that are truly not us to move out of the way. And are we doing that? Are we giving ourselves that ability inside of who we are to where we're focusing to that place to where we overcome our challenges? You see what I'm saying? And are we doing that to the place where we start to believe in ourselves, where the universe has the ability to start to yield, has the ability to start to ask you the questions, has the ability to hear your story? I mean, all I can do is share my story with you. I can teach you how to find yourself. I can teach you how to believe in yourself, to believe in your ability, to believe that you can overcome your challenges and that you're worth it. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your ability. You got to believe inside of you that there's a reason to get up. There's a reason to continue to focus. There's a reason to continue to be who you are on the inside. And it's on a daily that we put ourselves in that kind of a place. It's when things are not working for you and that you can start to pick yourself up. And are we doing it? Are we getting inside of that part of who we are? Are we sitting down inside and starting to study ourselves and to start to get inwards to the point where you see that you're worth it? And so how do we utilize positive and negative forces? Are you using them today? Ask yourself that. What is it that you're doing today that's positive? What is it that you're doing today that gives you the ability to continue? Are you giving yourself a little bit of time for you? Are you putting yourself in a place where you see you and you see the growth that you have inside of yourself? And I'm seeing those types of things, like I just had a friend of mine who's really close to me, get a position as a manager. Like they didn't feel that they were prepared or ready to start, but when they put themselves in that kind of a place, when they evaluate the work that they've done, the results start coming out. So are you giving yourself the permission to focus to that level? Are you giving yourself the place to get that type of part inside of you where you start to believe in you? You're never facing somebody else. It's always going to be you and your challenges that you're going to have to work on. Are you embracing those challenges? Are you embracing that ability inside of yourself? Are you putting yourself on a page where you're willing to work, and it's not always going to be with for funds. It's going to be for the things that you truly want to achieve, like are you putting the time in for you? Are you getting into the part of who you are where you start to believe in that part of yourself? See what I'm saying? And are we doing it today? Are we, because you can start today. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be a process of believing in yourself. It can start with picking up a pen and paper, or even picking up a motivational video, or listening to this one that might spark your ability to believe in yourself. You know, when they told me that I wasn't able to do things, I started searching for ways to be able to do them. Like, when do we start to use our creativity? When do we start to use our focus to the place where we become creative, where we find a way even if there isn't a way? And so I see myself grinding daily. I see those steps every single day. I see motivation, meditation, inspiration growing into a community. I see people that are starting to look at it and go, wow, this is a teacher. He can actually teach us how to believe in ourselves and believe in our ability and believe in our mentalities. You know, that's the type of things that I want to do. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you're working on today? What is it that when you start to achieve your dreams is you know, and I'm looking at this growth inside. I'm looking at this ability inside of who we are, where we start to believe in ourselves. We start to believe in our abilities that we can achieve amazing things. And are we doing so? You see, like, I enjoy those people that are asking questions. I enjoy those people that are facing off against challenges. And I enjoy those people that are there going through things that nobody else can do. And are we doing that for ourselves? You see, a lot of people get held back from being who they are by not other people. They get held back from themselves. They get held back from their ability inside of who they are. They get held back because they don't take that moment. They don't take that decision. They don't take that ability inside of who they are to believe in themselves. And it's inside of who you are that you grow. It's inside of who you are that you start to become. It's inside of who you are that you start to open up. And it's inside of ourselves that we can get there. You hearing what I'm saying? It's when we're seeking that part of who they are, and we're seeking that part of who we are inside, you know? And I really enjoy working with people. I really enjoy working through challenges. I really enjoy hearing the stories that you guys have, and I'd really enjoy you to leave the comments and subscribe and to hear the daily messages and the daily struggles, that I go through and that others go through, you know. And you know and you got to believe in yourself that you're worth something. You got to believe in yourself that you have the ability to pick you up, that you can do it, that you can speak to yourself and tell yourself it's worth it. And inside of who we are, we start to seek out that kind of place. We start to seek out that kind of ability. And are we enabling our mind? Are we enabling our ability inside of ourselves to where we believe in who we are? Okay? And we believe in our mentality, we believe in our ability, we believe that we can become focused, that we can actually create a foundation of positivity. You hearing me? When the blessings from the Most High God starts working through you, what is it that other people see? When is it not about a religion, but a relationship, okay, with the Most High, with the utilization of the universe, the utilization of the very essence of your being? When is it a part of your purpose to be you? And, you know, when do we get to see that part of you? When do other people start to see you are so focused that the reflection inside of yourself starts to radiate? Do they get to see, when do they start to see you so focused that you're not surprised in the results? And so what are some of those skills that we could use today? You know, can you utilize your computers? Can you utilize reading? What is it? Can you speak out? Can you focus to the place to be able to teach somebody from the things that you have the ability to do? Okay? When you're so focused that the universe starts to yield, and it does to the person who focuses past the point where other people aren't willing to go. When we start to see those results from you, we start to call you a motivation. Okay? If you want to become the best at a sport, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort, you got to put in the focus. You're going to face off against the rejection, you're going to face off against the people that say it's not possible. You're not going to be able to go to certain places because you're going to have to be at other places. What is it that you focus into? What is it that you are focused on? What is it that you utilize? And when you do these type of things, people know that's you. You hearing what I'm saying? When I decided that there was a day that I was no longer going to say the word thank you, because I wanted to leave blessings, because I was meditating so much that I recognized that it was a blessing for us to have a process of being ourselves. It was a blessing for us to face off against challenges. You see, that separates you, because you're being where your vibration is, okay? Where your mentality is. And so when we are going through challenges, it's on the other side where we overcome them. And when we're utilizing what we have inside of who we are, okay? And this may go against the structure, and it may go against these groups of people that say the good and bad exist, all right? And when you start to see that positive and negative forces exist in the universe, when you start to see at a higher level, a higher vibration, a higher understanding of universal law that even scientists recognize, that at a certain level that everything is divided between light and dark. You start to see positive forces working in the universe. You start to become a positive force. You start to surround yourself with positive people. You start to surround yourself with a positive ability. When you start to make that kind of a choice, to be a positive force in the universe, to utilize that ability inside of yourself to see things as they are. The universe is that place, my friends. Are we becoming that kind of positive? Are we not allowing the negative in the universe to stop us? Are we gaining mentality into a place where others are not willing to go? Are we able to get to that part inside of ourselves where we start to focus into positivity? We pick up a paper and a pen, and it means something. We start to study yourselves. You hearing what I'm saying? You getting what I'm kicking? I'm telling you to be who you are on the inside. I'm telling you to focus on the gifts that you have, to not allow the things that are negative to be a part of your being, to not allow them to have the ability to stop you, to hold you back from your ability. That when you do that, when you get that focus, when you become that kind of person inside of who you are, that the person inside starts to open up, that the things, the places, the challenges that you're facing off against start to show themselves in front of you. And do you grind on that level? Do you put yourself on that kind of a page where you believe in who you are and you believe in the ability inside of yourself, where your mentality starts to open up? And you see, a lot of people ask this type of question, what is this that I do? I talk about motivation, meditation, and inspiration every day. You see, they don't realize the things, the challenges, the places I've had to go, the things that I have had to do. When you've had to walk into a McDonald's to get water so you can put it in your shake bottles, the gallons of water that I had to go through, the meditation that I did inside of a sauna just to be right where I am, kicking this music right to your ear. You hearing what I'm saying? If you can just but yet hear this message after the umpteen amount of hours that I put in to learning how to communicate with people, that it just might work in your positions, it might work in your companionships, it might work in your mentality, it might pick you up. And so when we focus to that point, when we start building a community, when we start making it to where other people start believing in themselves, when they start to believe in their abilities, when you have the ability to work with people with lots of different challenges. You see what I'm saying? I'm here not just for myself. I'm here for you. I don't want you to have to go through the things that I've been through. I don't want you to have to face off against the things that I have. But if you are facing off against those types of things, I want you to hear this message and start to believe in yourselves. I want you to start to believe in your ability, that there's somewhere inside of you that you could pick yourself up. And so that's the type of thing I'm kicking. Okay? I'm talking about what kept me alive when I was sleeping in my van and it was 0 degrees outside. I'm talking about the ability inside of yourself to believe in you. Okay? And what I'm talking about today is motivation. I'm talking about what it takes for you to see that as a reflection, for you to focus to that place where you're willing to pick up those motivational videos, where you're willing to speak out. And I recognize that. You see what I'm saying? When other people start to see this, when they start to feel it inside of themselves, when they start to hear this message and they start to believe that they're worth it. And so as I grind on this page, as I use these words, as I use this mentality, as I focus to that place of positivity, ask yourself the question, is that something that you want for yourself as well? Do you want this universe to yield to you? Do you want to share this message with your friends? Subscribe to these networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration, links above. You got YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, podcasts, Google. We got it going on. And so how are we getting there? How are we putting ourselves in a place where we're focusing to that ability, where we're utilizing that part inside of ourselves to overcome our challenges? And it's inside of who we are that we start to do so. And it's inside of ourselves that we can focus. It's inside of ourselves that we can utilize that kind of a skill and find that kind of a place where our mentalities start to open up. So focus to that place. Focus to that place where you are utilizing what you have inside. Okay? Focus to that place where you're utilizing your ability, where you believe in you. Okay? If there's one thing that you got, it's that you can realize that when you start to become positive in your mentality, it's not going to be easy. And so let's go ahead and start talking about the second piece that I talk about every day. The community that I'm building, the motivation, the meditation. Okay? let's get into that part of ourselves where we're utilizing the meditation part of our being, where our knowledge starts to open up, where the student in your life, a lot of people face off against emotions, we face off against words, we face off against fears and pains. How do we start to learn about them? How do we start to use the energy inside? How do we start to utilize that part inside of who we are that says that you're worth it? And we are worth it. We do have what it takes. We do have ability inside of ourselves to believe in who we are. And so when knowledge starts to open up, when those emotions, those abilities, those things, start to study them, start to sit down inside and start to ask yourself, what kind of energy, what kind of place is this coming from? Is it coming from a place of standing my ground? Is it coming from me not being able to see the depth perception? Am I utilizing these kinds of energy? And it's kind of interesting because when a lot of people are talking about Kundalini, they're talking about the pages. They're talking about the pages, but what about the chapters of you? What about the energy that flows from within you? What about the person that you are inside? What about that knowledge, that first seed, that experience that you had of that very first experience? Can you remember that part of yourself? Can you? And every once in a while we get a glimpse of that. And inside of that is liberation, my friends. When you decompress those pains, those fears, those emotions, when you start to overcome and you allow them to be like a teacher to your student of you, when you start to absorb that process where the in and the out, the inwards and the outwards breath becomes the connection, becomes you. And so I want you to see yourself on that page. I want you to see that when you start to put self-care, when you start to put self-study together, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy for you to be you. And that's why the hardest trait and the most difficult trait to work with on the face of the planet is self-honesty, because it isn't about somebody else when you head inwards. When you're on top of that surfboard and those waves break and you're facing off against that and you're facing the turbulence to get back up, that you can. And so what about when you're trying to start something new? Okay? When you fail the first time, are you getting back up? Are you knowing that if you continue to go at it, if you continue to put yourself in that place, that knowledge will open up? That ability inside of yourself will find a way. That if you can see that that student inside of you is just asking to learn, that student inside of yourself is just waiting for you to face off against your challenges. It's just waiting for you to believe in who you are. And we have what it takes. It's the amazing part. We have the ability to gain that place where that knowledge becomes available. And you got to put yourself in that place where you can be that student, where you can have that opportunity inside of yourself to believe in you. And so, are we doing that on a daily? If you want to be healthy, are you putting in the time? Are you putting in the effort? Are you putting the stuff in your system that's bringing you closer to that? And so, how are we focusing? What are we focusing into? What is the knowledge inside of you saying to you? Are you worried? Are you going through things where you're frustrated, or you can't voice yourself, or you're trapped up in your heart or your depth perception? You hearing what I'm saying? See, a lot of people see this meditation thing as a reflection. What I'm doing when I'm doing meditation is not meditation. That's what you see, my friends. What I'm doing with is I'm dealing with myself inside. I'm going through the challenges inside. I'm working on inside that the outside isn't hotter than I am on the inside. And so that's how you can tell somebody who really sits down and utilizes self-study. What are you facing off against today? What are the things that you're going through? Do you want to become that top in your profession? Are you putting in the time? Are you putting in the grind? Are you getting down to become that kind of student to study? Okay? To put the types of things in front of yourself that are opening up that kind of knowledge inside of you? Or is it for somebody else? Are they robbing you of your own knowledge? Ooh, I hit that place hard. Yeah, get inside of yourselves, my friends. Get inside of your being where you become that kind of student, where you utilize that part of who you are. You see, some of you might enjoy doing arts and crafts, but are you doing them? Are you using that part of your knowledge? You see, some of you might enjoy singing, some of you might enjoy writing, some of you might enjoy speaking, some of you might enjoy things that other people just don't even think are possible. It's within you that you could find that place where you can find that centering, where you can find that zen to be you. But you got to be that student and you got to be that teacher in your life. You got to sit down with that knowledge and connect with your being, connect with your purpose, connect with your journey. And a lot of people don't apply their energy. There is no such thing as an ability to not have energy. It's just what type of energy that you have. How do you apply it? How do you put yourself in a place? Some of the scientific stuff that these different personality traits come from energy, my friends. Comes from the ability to understand that if you utilize your ability to stand your ground, that you might just happen to be a great manager. Or you might have such a great heart, or you might have a great place of focus that the universe might want to yield things to you that you don't even know. But if you don't take that time to sit down, you don't take that place inside of yourself, if you don't take that ability to be who you are, how are you going to even have that place to liberate yourself to do that? And so that's what this is about today, my friends. As I have a group of over 1,000 people on Facebook, as my motivation, meditation, inspiration takes branches, as it takes root in other people, and as I hear the motivational speakers come back, as it circles back around, that we're all part of this thing together. Are we finding that kind of beauty inside of ourselves? Are we finding that kind of beauty inside of our beings? Are we finding that kind of beauty inside of our focus, inside of our purpose? And see, I nail it right to the point, okay? I've heard people say, Marcel, you're so deep, I don't know if I can handle you, okay? If you can't handle yourself, then this message isn't for you. If you can't believe in yourself, if you can't find the understanding to be who you are, this message just might not be for you. Because this is for those people who want to achieve self-care, who want to truly love themselves, who want to be who they are on the inside, and to want to succeed and want to believe in themselves. It ain't about selfishness that I talk about today. It's about knowing you. It's about spending time with you. It's about getting to the place inside of yourself where you start to see dreams, where the Most High God starts to work through you. I've seen so many people out there that call themselves Christians, but do they even look at the very story that God divided light from dark? Okay? Do we even look at the very structure that we have that teaches good and bad instead of positive and negative forces? Do we gain that kind of knowledge where we start to see our dreams become possible, where the knowledge and starts to manifest, where the person that you are on the inside, where the true relation with the Most High God works from? You hearing what I'm saying? You getting what I'm kicking? Yeah, people like to say, oh yeah, I am. Right? They look at the structure, but they don't believe exactly what it means. When are you on your journey? When are you on your path? When are you sitting inside of yourself, grinding with your challenges? When are you going to the positions that you're really meant for? When are you achieving the things that you want to do? When is it not about somebody else? A lot of us forgot about that page. And I'm here to tell you, forget about that page. Remember your page. Remember your being. Remember your gifts. Remember your talents, your skills, your abilities inside of yourself. And utilize that part of who you are. Utilize that part of your being, your purpose, and your journey. And so, How do we focus to that part? How do we gain access to that kind of knowledge? How do we become that kind of student and that kind of teacher inside of ourselves? Through discipline, my friends. Through getting to that place where we are who we are. Where we are who we are on the inside, when our focus and our knowledge starts bringing us towards our journey, starts bringing us closer to our ability, starts to bring us closer to our challenges. I'll be done in about 5 minutes, Derek. When we are so focused that other people become uplifted, okay? Believe in you. Get to the place where discipline becomes you, where you are who you are, where you believe in who you are, where you believe in your ability, where you believe that you have what it takes. Because you are a blessing, my friends. And I've seen a lot of people stop themselves right at the edge, right at the ability inside of themselves, right when things start turning their way. And when we have storms, when we're facing off against storms, we just have to remember that on the other side of the storm is the calm waters. On the other side of the storms that we're facing off against, we can achieve. On the other side of the storms that we face off against, we can have dreams. And are you doing that today? See, what I ask myself every single day, I didn't know a way out. I was sleeping in a van. I didn't know that I would be coming back out here to Arizona. I didn't know that I'd be meditating next to a lake. I didn't know that I'd be building a community of people that would want the same thing as me. All I knew was that I was working through my own challenges and that I wanted to help other people. You hearing what I'm saying? When I started to see, some of those people wanting it for themselves, I didn't want it for me. I wanted people that were facing off against the challenges that I went through to be able to overcome those challenges inside of themselves. I wanted them to believe in who they are. I wanted them to see that if I could do it, then maybe they could too. And so that's the story that I'm sharing with you today. Okay? That if you can find a place inside of yourself to find ability to become focused, to utilize your knowledge, to utilize your discipline, to the place where others see your reflection of inspiration. Where other people start to see your mentality, where other people start to see your ability. When your focus, your knowledge, and your discipline become you. And see, I did that daily. I sat in that car, even when I was sleeping in that car, and I was writing. I put it in place where I put a value. I believed in myself. I listened to other motivational speakers when I was sleeping in a van. Are you doing that in your life? Are you facing off against those kinds of challenges? Are you becoming that person? Is a reflection coming outwards of your ability to believe in yourselves. See, I want to uplift you to that level. I want you to see you're worth it. You hearing what I'm saying? Believe in you. Believe in your purpose, your path, your journey, your relation with the Most High, with your connection with yourself, and nothing more and nothing less than who you are inside. Find that place of discipline. Find those gifts. Find those skills. Find that ability for you to achieve amazing things and watch as the universe yields. And remember always to uplift other people. Always to help out other people. Always to be there in a place where you believe in who you are. See, focus, knowledge, discipline. We see it around us. What about the focus beyond focus, the one inside of you? What about the knowledge, not the knowledge beyond knowledge, the one inside of you? What about the discipline beyond discipline, the thing inside of you where other people start to see themselves become uplifted by your story? Because each of you got a story. Each of you got a story to tell and an ability inside of yourself to believe in who you are and believe in your ability. And so are we doing that today? Are we putting ourselves in that kind of a place where we utilize what we have inside of who we are? And so, as I close, I just want you to see that you're worth it, that your blessings, your light is worth it. And I close, I just want to say blessings, 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 as always, and namaste.